is Carolina Millan, and we have another episode here of Beyond the Hustle with a very special guest, best-selling author, motivational speaker, UFC champion. I hope I said that right, Mr. Eddie Truck Gordon. How are you, Eddie?
I am doing amazing. I'm so excited to finally be back on your podcast. I watch it. I follow you on YouTube, Instagram, all social media. So it's an honor to be back on.
The honor is mine. Thank you so much for accepting a new invitation to be here. Last time, a few months ago, we had you and Mayoko, your partner, and that was one of my favorite interviews that I've done. So you guys rock, and I thought, I want to talk to Eddie again, and let's make it happen. So thank you so much again.
Honor's mine.
So for those who haven't listened to the previous interview I did with Eddie and Mayoko, it's going to be linked in the description of this one in case you want to go catch up with it. But either way, let's start by sharing a little bit of your story, where you started, where you come from, what you do. I believe you will inspire quite a few people with that.
Oh, I greatly appreciate it. My story is a little bit different than most because I started out in like finance and banking and I did all the things my parents told me to do. Go to school, work hard, and you'll get rich, you'll get wealthy, you'll be happy. And I kind of went that route. Went to college. I played, Division I football. Fell short on my first goal of, becoming a professional football player. Went to corporate America. At a young age, I was making really good money, but I just wasn't happy. And I was like, something inside me was dying because I love to compete. And, I got tired and burnt out after 9/11 being in finance. It was just like overwhelming. And I went on vacation, went to this event, UFC, mixed martial arts, and I wasn't like a big follower of it. And at that point, I was like really overweight because at that point I was depressed. I didn't realize it. I was just really like literally a shell of myself. And I'm sitting there 300 plus pounds in these seats with my friends. And I'm watching with different eyes. I'm telling all my buddies, hey, I can do this. They're looking at me like I'm crazy. They said I had too many Red Bull and vodkas. But it wasn't the alcohol speaking. It was just the belief I had in myself. And I took a leap of faith. I started training in mixed martial arts. A few months later, had my first fight. One fight turned into being selected by the UFC to be a part of a TV show, the Ultimate Fighter Championship. From thousands of fighters all across the world, I not only was able to compete that season, I won the whole entire thing, got a 6-figure contract. It opened up doors for me I never thought would open. I don't tell people that to brag or boast, but just so they can understand that if you believe in yourself, that's the first step to greatness. And you're gonna have to take a leap of faith because if you tell people your goals, they're not always gonna believe in them. And if you actually put all your trust and faith in them, you're gonna sell yourself short. If I can do it, I think anybody can do it. It's just a lot harder to get started. That's like the hard part. And that's my story. And it expanded from that point because, I don't look at myself as a professional athlete only. I'm a proud father. I never in a million years thought I'll have a best-selling book. And be an author, be a motivational speaker. So the platform of the UFC gave me the opportunity to actually reach out and talk to people because if I was still just a banker and in the business world, I don't think you might have asked me to come on your show and and I wouldn't, have the influence that I have now.
Who knows?
Whether it's social media. Exactly, right? So that's my story in a nutshell.
Yeah. One thing I love about your story is that the people around you, how did they react when you said, I'm going to be a UFC or a champion? Like, did they laugh at you? What was the reaction?
It was crazy. I never seen so many people that I cared about like laugh at me. And it's like, I wear my emotions on my sleeve. So I was like, okay, I was being serious. And, everybody thought I was crazy because I had a comfortable job. At that point, I was like in a financial director for a private publisher company. I just sat at a desk, wore a suit and tie, and didn't get punched in the face. So to tell somebody that I'm going to make a big transition, do a complete 180, and take a huge risk, because when I first started mixed martial arts, I didn't make that much money at all. Like literally, it wasn't a lot. It was thousands of bucks for a fight, and I was leaving a 6-figure job, and nobody could quite understand it, but I was literally dying inside. Like I did not feel like like who I was. And I'm a lively person. I want to be happy. And, money at that point did not make me happy. And it was really weird for most people to understand because they associate money with happiness. And that's like the furthest thing from the truth. I'm a big believer if you're unhappy, broke, all the money in the world is not going to make you happy to your soul. It's like you might think it's going to, but I promise you it won't.
I think that's a lesson that so many people need to hear, where they think that money is gonna buy them happiness, and it just won't. It might fix a few things, but happiness, I think, comes from within, from being happy with yourself, comfortable with what you do. And I think it takes so much courage to do what you did, like a complete 180. Um, that's amazing. I mean, how many people do that? How many people have the courage to do that? I guess not that many. So more
Or how
power.
many people are stupid enough to try?
Yeah. No, and I'm glad, like, after all the naysayers, when they saw you succeed, what did they say then?
That honestly, that was the funniest part because I seen it was almost like I got a facelift. It was almost like it was almost like, oh, I'm so happy for you. It's weird, and I feel that I'm a very respectable person. So like I don't want to say I told you so. I don't, because I don't think that they really, especially the people close to me, I don't think that they wanted to see me fail. They wanted to see me unhappy. I just think that they were so afraid themselves that they just reflected that fear on me. And the fact that they cared about me, they didn't want to see me fail and see me go through that pain. But I really look at failure and pain completely different now. I think it's more of a stepping stone, not an obstacle. And I think a lot of people got the wrong relationship, with fear and failure. So that's kind of where I think was my biggest, superpower was just dealing with the adversity and just, dealing with different obstacles.
Absolutely. And, from continuing with that topic, how do you prepare, like, mentally? Because I think for a lot of people, they look at, I mean, myself at least, I look at a fight or something, and we see just the physical part, but I'm sure you do a lot of mental work before you go into a big fight. So how do you prepare yourself for it?
I think that is probably the biggest part because we do so much physical training, practicing 6 to 8 weeks, 2, 3 times a day, and it's a grind. And if you're not mentally fit and you don't actually enjoy the hustle of it behind the hustle, you're gonna fail. You're not gonna be able to be truly successful. And this is something that I'm constantly trying to master because I feel like mindset is everything, especially when you talk about fighting. When you walk into a cage, when you walk into a ring, it's one on one. There's nobody to blame. There's no my teammate didn't pass me the ball. My coach made a bad call. It's you versus another individual. So for me, it's the truest form of like being a gladiator in modern day times. And I love it because it taught me so many different life lessons. It taught me how to own my mistakes, to own my responsibilities, never point fingers at anybody else. And it just really, really just like taught me like responsibility. And that's to me is the lessons in fighting. I think that every person on this planet should be able to get at least one fight in their career, one whether it's amateur, whether it's just to get that experience because it's an emotional roller coaster like life. And I think it'll prepare you, for life. But I don't think too many people are going to agree with that.
I've never gotten into a fight in my life, like physical fight. So I don't know. It kind of scares me for sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, if the lessons are worth it, from what you say, I
A
don't know. Can I
controlled
fight you?
environment. Now, listen, we'll be a controlled environment. We'll make sure that everything is safe and nobody will get hurt. You'll just get the experience.
That will be fun. All right. When we meet, we'll do something
Deal.
fun. um, Now, from your fighting story, what lessons have you gotten that have prepared you for other ventures in your life? Like, for example, writing a book or starting a business. Um, like you mentioned a couple of lessons you learned there, but what has it taught you that has allowed you to venture into other things?
I think the biggest thing, kind of what we touched on, a few moments ago, is the whole thing about fear. once I was able to, to tame and harness that fear, it opened up so many different avenues. I'm just now, this is probably like the first year that I'm realizing a lot about myself, about how I restricted myself from my comfort zone. Whether, people see a big bad fighter and this guy's so tough, but I really locked myself off into like into almost like a box where I always made sure that I was comfortable. I wasn't doing anything that was out of the norm. And even with my business ventures, like everything I did, it came to the point where I blocked myself away from society. Believe it or not, my fitness business was literally at my house. I had a gym the size of my house in the basement. I ran my clients there. It was fun. It was great. And I just stayed in that comfort zone till finally, sometimes the motivator needs motivation. And one of my clients were like, "You're absolutely crazy. We have no more space left. I have a bunch of referrals for you. Why don't you take this to the next level? I got, you give me great training. I'm growing mentally and physically. Like take the next step and do something." And I'm a spur of the moment kind of person. So literally from that conversation, something just clicked, and I ended up finding a location, started construction, did plumbing, this, that, so much different things within like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And my same client, he looks at me like, he's like, "This is unreal." He's like, "What were you waiting for? You did all this in 2, 3 weeks. What were you waiting for?" But you just, it's like a spur of the moment thing. It's just getting out of your own way. That's the best way I could put it. I think a lot of us in this world, it's not that we don't, set goals. And I think we just set our goals too low, and we oftentimes hit them. We don't miss, and we limit ourselves. So we have to set bigger goals, have bigger dreams, bigger aspirations. And that's what sets apart, somebody who's successful versus somebody who's unsuccessful. That's what fighting taught me, to own my fears and just get over them and get outside of your comfort zone.
Agree, 100%. How's the gym? Like, share a little bit more about that experience. I know you published recently on Instagram that you had what is it, bitten the bullet or something.
Yeah.
I don't know the expression, but what was it like, and where can people find it? Like, tell us more.
Oh man, I am so excited. I bit the bullet and I finally like took a leap of faith, and I opened up a brand new gym. It's 5 minutes away from my house, so I'm excited about that. At least it's near my hometown community. I tried to open one in my town. Unfortunately, not it didn't work out. There wasn't any locations available, and I didn't want to wait. But I opened it up in the next town over, which is Baldwin, New York. 2,500 square foot facility. Some people think I'm crazy because that's pretty big for like my first venture, but I'm able to transfer my clients from my house directly into the gym. And more importantly, I did everything through word of mouth. Everything was just referral based because I didn't want random strangers in my house. So now I have the ability to able to market and advertise and get, not that I want any random person coming to the gym as well, but I can open it up now to more people. But it was quite interesting. It's a lot different. You have to get insurance, you have to get permits, you have to get this. So it was definitely interesting, but I feel like all of the challenges, all of the obstacles are going to be worth it. It's starting to come together now, so I'm starting to see the actual finished product, and that gets me excited. Like I literally wake up, instead of going downstairs to my basement, I have to get in my car, warm it up because it's freezing now,
Oh
and
yeah.
take a travel, 5 to 10 minutes route. But I realize I'm doing the right thing because I am super excited in the morning. Like every morning I wake up super excited, and I get to use some of my other talents now. Like most people don't realize, I double majored in college. I went to Ivy League school. I double majored in business, finance, and marketing. So now I'm able to use my marketing abilities for my own business, which is super great. It saves me some money, and it's a learning process as well because things have changed since I was in the business world and in college. But I'm excited for it. So I look at everything as an obstacle and a challenge, and ultimately, it's my goal to get in front of all of these new people because I want them to get the same feeling I did, being over 300 pounds, being unfit, being unhealthy, being mentally. I was mentally defeated. Like people say, you're so positive, you're so motivating. How did you get that way? I got that way because I literally hit rock bottom, and I developed and built myself. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. And most people don't realize that fitness is not to, some people want it for like the aesthetics. They want to look good. They want to be the abs and this and that. But what fitness does for your mentality is everything. You just feel like you're a completely different person. You have confidence, you believe in yourself, and you could accomplish so much more things. And that's the feeling I want. And that's the feeling I have with a lot of my clients. And that's what gets me motivated, because I was the client. I was the client. I was the guy that was depressed. So I want everybody to get a taste of that. And I know that if they do, then I did the right thing. And that's going to be like my legacy. It's not about, I say it all the time. It sounds corny. It's not about, how many homes I own, how many cars I drive, how many fights I actually win. It's going to be about how many lives I can touch and be a part of their story, so that when I'm gone far from this earth, my story is going to live on to somebody else. So that's like my goal.
I love it. And that was one of my questions actually. What did you want your legacy to be like? When you're not here anymore. So now you answered that. um,
Sorry, I stole your shine.
oh, that's okay. What's the name of the gym, by the way?
The name of the gym is Fit Fam NY. So it stands for Fun Intense Training Family, because I want to have a family environment. I some people thought I was crazy. I took up space in the gym to actually make a babysitting room. So I have a full babysitting room. So moms, stay-at-home dads, they don't have to have any excuse. They can bring their kids to the gym, and the kids will actually get a workout while they're getting a workout. So hopefully when you're finished, they'll be tired and they can eat, and it'll make everybody just better. And that's just the environment I want. I want to be not like the typical gym where it's like or the typical mentality of fitness is everybody hates being fit because they associate it with boredom, with pain. But it's like mostly like group fitness, where I want to give them a fun twist to it. So they're doing something, they don't even realize they're having a bunch of fun, but they're also getting in shape and getting healthy. And I do this for a living, so I think I'm really pretty good at it.
I would say you're very qualified for the job. No, that's amazing. Have you seen any like transformational stories from your current clients?
That honestly, that's the reason why I started doing it, because I have a very high success rate. I tell people all the time, it's not about, you want to get it done overnight. It's all about just being consistent. And I found that all my clients that are consistent are the ones that are getting the results. And I'm a big reader. I took a book I read, Finding Your Flow, and I used that to my fitness, where every single workout I do with all my clients, I make sure that it's not too hard where they're miserable, where they're dreading it, where they're like, I don't want to come back tomorrow. And I make sure it's not too easy where they're bored. So I kind of try to find, the happy medium. And this way, I know I hit that right chord when they say, oh my gosh, that went so fast. Because when you're right in the flow, time just goes like super fast. You're enjoying yourself. You don't realize how much time is passing. But I love to push people. I like to show, get them to like their beyond their limits. And that feeling that they get, even from like a first session, that's like when if I do it right, then they're just hooked, and it's a good addiction to have, because they're getting healthy. And like I said, it's not about the aesthetics. There's so much more to it, like getting healthy. I always tell people, why do you want to lose weight? Because everybody, I don't care who they are, everybody wants to lose weight. I'm talking about, I see people 110 pounds want to lose weight. I always ask them, it's not about losing weight. Why do you want to lose weight? And what I found, a lot of like the parents are like, I want to lose weight because I want to play with my kid. I want to lose weight because I want to go and buy clothes and fit and feel comfortable and not be, subconscious about what am I wearing to the beach and this and that. And I know exactly how they feel, because that was me. I literally used to worry about, oh, I'm going to Vegas. What am I going to wear on the beach? What am I going to wear? I don't want to. I don't feel comfortable in my pants. I don't feel comfortable in this. I don't feel comfortable in that. So it's so many different, positives, to the actual fitness, where it's not just I want to lose weight. Why do you want to lose weight?
I don't think a lot of people ask themselves why whenever they want something out of life. Like, I want more money. Okay, why? I want to lose weight. Why? I want to do this. Why? And just finding the reason why, I think, is what's ultimately going to fuel your, the fire, and you'll be consistent. Like, I don't see
agree
another way.
so much. I agree with you so much. Like you hit it right on the head because if we just ask ourselves why, no matter what the answer is, just program ourselves why, then we'll actually find like the real root, the real foundation of it. And when it gets hard, because I promise you, I don't care what you're doing, anything that's worth it is going to be hard. If we have the real root of why we're doing it, it's going to be so much easier to keep going when it gets harder. So that is that's super important.
Yeah, yeah. There's a book by Liz Gilbert, I think it's her name, the lady from Eat, Pray, Love. I haven't read it yet, but my husband is reading it. It's called Big Magic. And there's one chapter that he shared with me where she says, like, everything you want in life, I'm going to say the S word here because that's how she calls it. There's a shit sandwich that you have to eat.
Yes.
For you to get that thing you want, you got to eat the shit sandwich. So, like, what is the shit sandwich that comes with the thing you want to do? Like, is it working out a lot? Is it getting rejected a lot? Like, what is it? And if you're not willing to go through that, then maybe that's not the right passion. Maybe you're not that passionate about that one thing that you're after. So I think that's
you just made me want to get that book now. So now I'm going to Google it.
It's good. It's called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. I'm going to read it right after my husband is done because I read that page and I'm like, this is good stuff.
Exactly. No, that's like powerful. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think a lot of people chase things that they don't really want that much just because other people are chasing the same thing.
I feel like you're in my head because I just had, I'm telling you, I just had this conversation because so many people want this Gucci belt, this, that. I had the conversation with my kids. I'm like, why do you want that? Do you even know what a Louis Vuitton belt is? Like, why do you want that? I don't know. And it's always because their friend has it or they saw somebody on YouTube with it.
Yep.
It's never because I actually like the way it looks. And it's always because of what somebody else likes.
Exactly.
That to me, that's like the downfall of social media. Social media has so many positive, powerful tools and so many negative as well. It's like a double-edged sword. Where everybody's so busy trying to impress people they don't even know. And that's the craziest thing to me. I was just talking to my client today. He was on a TV show as well. And I was like, don't you find it funny that people who we actually know, so I know him. Now, if I see he goes rents a jet or a plane, is taking pictures there and saying, oh, private jet, this and that, like your real friends, the people that know you, know what you have, what you don't have. But now you're putting on this perception for other people, this lifestyle that you don't have to impress people you don't know. That to me is so scary. It doesn't logically make sense, but so many people do it. There's so many businesses that are set up to the staging. They set up stages. Like when you called me, my kids are running around going crazy. I had to quiet the dog, quiet the kids, but it's like, it's my reality. That's the part that I love the most. That's why I love watching your YouTube, especially when you travel. Just to see you on an airplane just talking about the snacks and this and that. I feel as if I'm on the plane traveling with you, and it's like, it's really cool. Like to me, that's the stuff I like to watch on like, YouTube and get to know somebody because it's authentic, it's real. I don't want to deal with somebody. I can only afford a $90 million house. It doesn't make any logical sense.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know exactly what you mean, and it's so crazy that people are willing to, get stuff they don't want and that they cannot afford to impress people they don't even know. Like it's insane.
It's the scariest thing ever.
It's the scariest thing ever. And I love and respect people like Gary Vee. Like I love the guy. That everybody knows that. I think I'm very obvious about it. But that's probably the only thing I disagree on with him is, he has a lot of speeches to parents to like, don't bother your kids if they're on the phone all day, or it's okay, like, don't give them crap just because they're on the phone. I'm like, no, it's not good for younger people, like very young people, to be on Instagram and YouTube all day because they're feeding their mind with the wrong stuff. Like, you have no idea what they're consuming and all the pressure, the social pressure that they go through to keep up with that happy, perfect life. So
Yeah.
I think it's crazy. Yeah,
That's the scary part. That is, and it's so funny because I gravitate towards Gary as well because like I love, that's the thing I love too. Like you don't have to agree with everything, but you have to find what you do agree
exactly.
with. I just love his work ethic, and it's so funny that I just read somebody's post about they compared him to Tay Lopez, which I think Tay is awesome as well, but his lifestyle is a little bit different. He's more flashy. He's doing this. He's doing
Very
that.
different.
Very different. And his net worth was like 5 million, which is not bad. And Gary's net worth's like 149 million or something. And Gary's the one that's going to garage sales on Saturday and Sunday. So to me, it's just like Gary goes to garage sales, Tay goes to different countries every weekend. So it's like
I
it's
know.
it's like it's who you perceive, like the lifestyle that you want to live in, and not one's not better than the other. It's who you are as a person. And that to me, I think is the power of like social media is if you can look through it and filter and see what you want, because you can't take everything with you. You can't take everything and just kind of pick and choose what's best for you. I think this world could be like such a better place.
I agree. I agree. And I love your content too, by the way. I'm so flattered that you would watch my content. I'm like, oh, thank you.
I think honestly, I'm a big believer in surrounding myself with positive people, and I catch myself. Sometimes I catch myself almost because I feel guilty. Like I'll go follow somebody just because they followed me, and I see them commenting a lot, and then I'll actually click on their link and like go through their feed. I'm like, I can't even agree with it. I feel bad. I gotta like unfollow them or something. But it's like it comes to a point where you have to surround yourself with positivity. I try to go through at least once a month, go through my social media and just like if that just not even my friends list, just go through my timeline. When something pops up that I don't agree with or I just disagree, I
Out.
unfollow it. And it's like, and some people say, "Oh, why'd you unfollow me?" I'm like, it's not nothing personal against you, it's just that we're not on the same wavelength. And I just don't want to. I don't want to see that. I don't even watch the news. I don't watch the news. My parents and friends think I'm crazy, but I said if I watch the news, I only watch the last 5 minutes of that hour because that's the only time they show anything positive. How could this world be so big and it's 55 minutes of negative, 5 of positive? It's the wrong scale. And that's why I boycott it. I said if it's something important enough, I'll find out. Plus the weatherman's always wrong anyway, so I just gotta walk outside and figure out what the weather's gonna be. But I rather build up the news in my own mind, in my own head, and some people think I'm naive for that. But I just don't want to surround myself with the negativity because if I watch the news, it puts me in the worst mood ever. I'm always sad. You hear about some kid getting hurt, some like
Yeah.
animals being abused, and this. It's just so much negative things. I just rather not subject myself to it.
I'm the same way, and for me, it's like if there's something really important going on in the world, I'll see it on Twitter. Like
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I don't need to hear the news about somebody getting stabbed at midnight, and like I have enough with all the negativity in the world to like voluntarily feed myself more. So
Yes, and it's
so
like,
I'm with you.
and I agree. It's just, I can't understand that. They should just start a positive news channel, and they'll just get so many new followers because it's just full of negative. But I think people like to see car accidents. That's
It's
just human nature.
crazy. I mean, I've heard that it's been tried before and it didn't succeed. Like they've tried to do like positive newspapers and stuff like that. It just nobody wants to hear that people are happy.
Yeah, it's just how scary is that? That goes back. I hate to beat a dead horse, but it goes back to like Gary Vee. He said it. He's like, "There's so much negativity. Like when can we make that flip?" And that's the part I probably love the most about him is that he's just like, "I'm just trying to make a positive impact. I'm just trying to be that person that's going to give you a little bit a push towards the light side, not the dark side, because you'll see it. It's just a over and over consistent negative vibe, and it's just I can't understand it.
I know, and I see that too, and I see it through your content that you're also gravitating towards motivating people. So share a little bit about that. Like I know you've been doing some motivational speaker, inspirational speaking with people like Caleb Maddox, for example. I love that kid. Um, how is that? Like how is the experience for you to stand in a room in front of people, no matter how many people there are? What's that like for you?
I tell you what, I tell people this every time I speak, I get butterflies. Like I tell people all the time, it's just as exciting, if not more exciting, than actually entering a cage and fighting another human being. Because if it's five, whether it's 10, whether it's 5,000 people that's sitting there, you have an opportunity to help shape change somebody's life, for the better. If you can resonate your story to this one or two or three people, now your legacy is going to live on again through them. And for me, it's an amazing rush, especially like to do an event with Caleb Maddox, who I've seen this kid grow up as a little kid, and I used to be like, what does this little kid know? And it kind of freaked me out when I never get like starstruck because I met so many different celebrities, and when I'm like, it was just weird seeing this young kid now grow up and be taught and grown like the right way. And I even told him that the relationship that him and his dad has is the relationship I want to have with my kids, because his dad didn't shoot down his dreams when he wanted to be a motivational speaker. Most 8, 9-year-old kids that tell their parents that, they tell them be more realistic. His dad was like, all right, let's do this together. And they got together, and he uplifted his son's dreams, and having 4 boys, that was a big pathway for me. So now after having speaking with him, he's like, hey, here's my number. My dad will love you. Like, let's get together. So it's like just making a relationship. Because I think one of my biggest faults, I get too busy with the things that are not as important as it should be. Like making connections, relating to people is so much more powerful than trying to get the next business deal. I'm slowly learning that you can't do everything, but you can make genuine connections and relationships with people, and ultimately that's gonna be the end game. Like Gary says all the time, like that's gonna
Yeah.
be like the end game, and that's a big obstacle that I have to I'm constantly growing, and I feel like I'm getting there because I jumped on the opportunity. I had things going on, and I tried to schedule and move stuff around, and some way somehow it worked out. And just the relationships, just some of the kids and people that were there at the event, they reached out, and it's very I'm very grateful for the impact that I had.
Mm-hmm. No, I love it. I love it. I love public speaking myself, and hopefully next year I get to do a little bit more of it. Maybe one day we'll share the stage somewhere. I don't
That's it. It's
know.
gonna happen. I'm gonna put it in my mind. Law of attraction. It's going to
uh,
happen.
yeah, I want to make it happen too. What would you say is like we talked about legacy, but what's your mission right now? Where do you think you're heading? And where do you see yourself as well? And well, this is two questions in one, but where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
My mission is always like very consistent. Anything I do, I kind of center it around health and fitness, and because that's what I'm really good at, and that's what I know, and bettering people. So like my goal when I wrote my book was to be able to shape change 10 million people's lives. And what my book is like, okay, if I do 1 million copies and every person shares it with 10 people, that'll be a way to impact it. And I'm just piggybacking off of that with this gym, with this fitness gym I'm opening up. Like I want to still change 10 million lives. Hopefully this cuts down the 6 degrees of separation and makes it a little bit easier and faster to get there. But ultimately, I want to be like the number one fitness gym franchise in the world. Like, because I've been a part of a lot of gyms, I've been a part of a lot of teams, and just the camaraderie, there's nothing like it. As we become adults, we start to go away from that and start individualizing ourselves and living in a shell because of just our nuclear family, and that's it. But I feel like if we keep that team environment, we build it, we build it, we build it. You're able to impact so many lives. If I can help a mom or dad live an extra 5 or 10 years to be around their kid, maybe see their grandkid, that's powerful. That's how I'm gonna get to that 10 million lives changed, shaped, and formed. And if I can help somebody start a business and a franchise and give them the blueprint, then I feel like I'm going to be making a huge impact. So that's the goal. 5-year goal is to have 10 FitFams all across the country. That's why I had FitFam NY, because I want to open up one in Australia. I want to open up one all across the world to just have like the blueprint. So that was why I didn't name it Truck Gordon Fitness, or I didn't want my name associated with it. Some people thought I was crazy, but it's not about me. It's not about my
Yeah.
ego. I'm just a vehicle that knows how to lose weight the right way, how to be honest and have integrity in the fitness world, because there's not a lot of it. There's a lot of magical pills and stuff, and I tell people all the time, supplements are just that. They're supplements. They're
Yep.
supplemental to what you're doing. They do work. A lot of these marketing stuff, they do work, but I feel like sometimes they just advertise it the wrong way, and people have a false perception and a false reality of what it's actually going to take. Because every and anything takes work. Every and anything takes work. So I want to change this industry. Like that's like my goal. So I'm really, really excited about it.
I can tell. Like I can tell in the way your eyes are sparkling when you talk about it. No, I absolutely love it. Um, what would be like your advice for people listening or watching who are struggling, whether, I mean, it could be weight loss, it could be motivation, it could be business, it could be becoming a UFC champion as well. I don't know. What's your advice to those people? Like, what would you tell them?
The best advice I can give, everybody watching, everybody listening. One, make sure you go and share this because this is beyond this is like beyond ecstatic to be on here. But make sure you do not judge your success on somebody else's success, because a lot of times we don't see the failures, and everybody's gonna fail. I promise you, everybody's gonna fail. Everybody failed, but it's not failing if you keep going and you start learning from it. As long as you could rest, but you're just not allowed to quit, and just be passionate about whatever you're doing. I failed probably more times than ever. I have so many businesses that failed, and I didn't understand it until now, that all of those failures taught me exactly what I shouldn't do as well as what I should do. So don't be too down and hard on yourself. You might not be where you want to be today, but that doesn't mean you can't get there tomorrow. So as long as you're consistent and you're passionate, I don't care what it is, just be passionate about it, consistent. You're going to have success. You might not get there when you want to, but you'll get there when you need to.
See, that's wise. That's wise. It's all about timing too. Sometimes it's just not the right timing.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
agree.
mean, imagine if you had gotten into this at a different moment. Maybe it wouldn't have worked out the way it did. Who knows? Who knows?
I so agree. Timing is everything, and sometimes we don't understand why things are happening, but they're happening for a reason. As long as you stay consistent, I think that is so huge, because I think a lot of us give up when we're right there. I think we always give up when things get the hardest. But if you realistically think about it, in like something like physical, like let's just say a marathon. When you start the marathon, you see it on TV, everybody's super happy, everybody's pumped up for that first mile. It's right near the end when everything gets super hard, like mile 22, 23
Yeah.
plus. It's when it gets super hard, you know that you're right there, you're closer to it. So instead of like most people do, we get afraid of pain, we get afraid of failure, we get fearful, we stop too soon, too short of that finish line. Instead, when it gets really, really hard, we should dig a little bit deeper, and then we're going to get that reward. On the other side of fear, on the other side of failure is bliss. So we can remember that when things get tough, we'll just be super, super successful.
I know, and you said it. Like I couldn't say it any better myself. My English is broken right now.
Um, no, you rock.
Thank you, thank you. Do you have any like final inspirational message that you want to share with the audience here? And I know there was something else I was going to ask you, and I had everything here written down, and I think we covered everything. But I don't know. I just get so excited talking to you because I love your enthusiasm, your energy, where you come from, like what you've done, and it inspires me as well. So I want to really like broadcast it to people somehow.
Well, listen, I am super grateful. Like, I don't think you understand how much you motivate me. Just seeing your life, seeing you travel, around the world with your husband, and just the relationships, and just how genuine you are. And I think the part about you that I love the most is that you're authentic. Like you share your ups, you share your downs, and it's like you're easy to relate to, because people don't realize that not every moment is going to be amazing. And that's the thing that I love the most, that you share. And that's what I hope all of our listeners listening now, everybody watching, understands that it's okay not to win every time, but it's not okay to give up. It's not okay not to give your 100% effort, because you never know when that breakthrough is happening. You never know when you might think something's, a failure, but or obstacle, but it's actually an opportunity. So if you can learn anything from this podcast, is that, I'm where I'm at in this position of life because I failed. Like, I don't think, like you said, timing is everything. I wouldn't be here if I would have stayed and, I was afraid to fail. I'd probably be, I could have been dead. But to be quite honest with you, because I was, like I said, I was well overweight. I was like obese, depressed, so many different things. I could have literally been dead if I just didn't take a leap of faith and just been comfortable, just collecting money and collecting a check and just not having an end game, or a passion. Because, money, I'm not going to say being broke is where it's at, because money allows you to help people. Money allows you to do other things, but it's not the end. That's not the end all be all. You have to kind of have that passion behind it. And if anybody watching and listening today thinks that they're down and out, it's okay. Some of the most successful people been where they are, if not worse. And this is going to sound super harsh, but it's reality. When you think you've the only person, like you think you're like at the rock bottom, and you're at the end all be all, somebody else has been there before, and believe it or not, somebody else has it a lot worse than you have it, has it a lot worse than I have it. And we just got to take a deep breath and just remember that if we wake up the next morning and we have that air in our lungs, we're at an advantage, because there's people that are literally on life support that can't even breathe for themselves and can't do anything about it. But we can make a change and difference the day that we wake up with air in our lungs. So always remember that. No matter how bad yesterday was, if you wake up with air in your lungs today, you have an opportunity to be different and make life different.
I love it. Gratitude.
Yes.
That's the word. Eddie, man, I feel like I could go on for hours talking to you. Maybe next time I'm in New York City, we manage to meet up. We do a video.
Yes. I owe you one big time. That's one of my life lessons I learned. I felt like so bad. I was like it's going to happen. Like, I know for a fact we're going to make it happen.
I know, my friend. Again, timing. It just wasn't the right time. Next time it will be.
Yes.
Oh, one last thing I wanted to talk about was your podcast. Are you, because you guys, I know you were doing a podcast. I don't know if are you still doing it together, or yes?
Yes. It's so funny you said that, because Miyoko has some amazing things going on. He has a Strive After 30 going on. I have some ventures going on. So the timing wasn't right. But we're super excited. We're actually recording a bunch more for season 2 coming up. So we took that hiatus, and we've had a lot of people DM us and email us and say, "What are you guys doing? I want the next episode." So I'm genuinely super excited. So we got some really fun, cool stuff coming for the Art of Winning.
The Art of Winning. That's the podcast. So you guys can go listen to season 1 then, and whenever you guys come make your comeback, let me know.
You're gonna be. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, you gotta be one of our guests right off the top. Like, that's it.
I want to come back.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Eddie, so much. Thanks to everybody listening or watching the interview. I hope you enjoyed it. You have to follow Eddie on Instagram. He's got the best content at Truck Gordon. I'm gonna put it in the description anyway. And thank you, Eddie.
Thank you. And once again, I'm super humbled and super grateful that you gave me the invite. I'm like, I genuinely love your show, love your YouTube, love your Instagram. So if you think my content is good, you make sure you follow Carolina. She's amazing.
Thank you. That warms my heart. All right. Thank you so much. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.